The world of high finance buzzed with a haunting question. Where was Li Mingji? In the heart of Shanghai's financial district, where fortunes are made and lost in seconds, his sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through boardrooms and trading floors alike. Investors, analysts, and rivals all whispered the same name, their curiosity tinged with unease. The headlines blared, speculating wildly as the city's pulse seemed to skip a beat. Once a titan of China's tech industry, Li Mingji was a figure who commanded respect and even fear. He was the visionary behind some of the country's most ambitious projects, a man whose presence filled the room and whose decisions shaped the future of technology in Asia. Yet, almost overnight, he vanished, leaving behind only questions and a void at the top. His company, Phoenix Innovations, had become a symbol of China's relentless ambition and rapid ascent on the global stage. The building itself, with its gleaming glass and bold signage, stood as a monument to progress. But now, with its founder gone, the company's future seemed uncertain, its once bright lights casting long shadows. In the days that followed, Li's digital footprint was methodically erased. His name disappeared from company directories, his files deleted, and his office left eerily empty. It was as if he had never existed, a ghost in the machine. Employees whispered in hushed tones, fearing what might come next. Rumors swirled through the city like wildfire. Was he detained by authorities? Had he fled the country? Some claimed to have seen him boarding a late-night flight, while others insisted he was hiding in plain sight. Theories multiplied, each more dramatic than the last. Many believed he was the latest victim of a sweeping government crackdown on tech moguls and corporate giants. The sight of police entering corporate buildings and officials scrutinizing records only fueled the speculation. Was Li Mingji paying the price for his success, or was there something more? Then, just as the story seemed to fade, a grainy photo surfaced from Cebu, Philippines. It showed a solitary man, head bowed in prayer, seated in the dimly lit pews of the Basilica del Santo Niño. The image was blurry, but the resemblance was unmistakable. It was Li Mingji, found not in a boardroom or luxury suite, but in a place of quiet faith, far removed from the world he once ruled. The man who once commanded empires now sought solace in silence, his only company, the flickering candles and ancient walls of the church. The discovery sent shockwaves through the media, igniting a frenzy of coverage. Magazine covers juxtaposed his former life of power and opulence with his newfound humility. The contrast was stark: the penthouse and the pew, the spotlight and the shadows. This was not just a missing person found, but the beginning of a deeper narrative, a story of loss, escape, and the search for meaning beyond wealth and status. As dawn broke over Cebu, Li Mingji walked alone, his silhouette framed by the rising sun, contemplating a life rebuilt from the ashes of ambition. The world watched, captivated, as Li Mingji's new life began, not in the glare of headlines or the comfort of luxury, but in the quiet humility of prayer. In that humble chapel, far from the chaos of his past, he embarked on a journey of redemption, seeking peace in a world that had once demanded only success. If you like my video, then subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for more update. Li Mingji embodied the modern Chinese dream, rising from modest beginnings in a small rural village where opportunity was scarce and hope was a rare commodity. As a child, he watched his parents toil in the fields, instilling in him a relentless drive to escape poverty and make something of himself. Every step he took through the bustling city streets was a reminder of how far he had come and how much further he wanted to go. Through sheer determination and a keen mind for technology, Li Mingji climbed the ranks to lead Phoenix Innovations, a global tech giant that revolutionized the industry. Under his leadership, the company soared to new heights, launching products that changed the way people lived and worked, and putting China at the forefront of the digital revolution. Celebrated as a national hero, he lived in luxury, believing himself untouchable. His face graced magazine covers, and his words were quoted by aspiring entrepreneurs. He moved through a world of opulence, penthouse apartments, private jets, and exclusive galas, convinced that his success had made him invincible. But the government saw his growing wealth and influence as a threat, and soon, scrutiny began. Whispers of discontent echoed in the halls of power, and the media began to question whether one man should wield so much control. Ignoring warnings from trusted advisors, Lee failed to see the cage quietly closing around him. He dismissed the rumors, believing his connections and achievements would shield him from harm. Investigations into his company led to frozen assets, abrupt raids, and menacing interrogations. The empire he had built began to crumble as friends and colleagues distanced themselves, fearing for their own safety. A final warning arrived, this time unmistakable. Urged to disappear, he fled under the cover of darkness, clutching a fake passport and a suitcase stuffed with cash, leaving behind everything he had ever known. His escape was a blur of fear and regret. In a matter of days, his name was erased from company records, his legacy dismantled piece by piece. The world he had shaped now moved on without him. The state wasn't just imprisoning him, it was erasing his existence. His achievements were rewritten, his image scrubbed from public memory, as if he had never existed at all. Once a man with everything, wealth, power, respect, he became a ghost, adrift in a world that no longer knew his name. In exile, he wandered foreign streets, haunted by memories of a life that vanished overnight. His spectacular fall left him with nothing, not even a name. All that remained was the echo of his ambition and the lesson that in the pursuit of greatness, one can lose everything, even themselves. Lee Ming-ji arrived in Cebu, a city far from the world he once knew. He chose anonymity, stepping off the plane with nothing but a single suitcase and a heart full of uncertainty. The air was thick with humidity and possibility, and as he walked through the bustling airport, he felt the weight of his old life slowly begin to lift. He left behind the chaos of his past, a life filled with relentless ambition, luxury cars, and crowded city streets. In Cebu, the mornings were quieter, the pace gentler, and the people seemed to move with a sense of calm purpose. Here, he hoped to find peace. Ming-ji rented a small, sunlit room near the Basilica del Santo Niño. The walls were bare, but the sounds of the city, laughter, church bells, distant music, filtered in, reminding him that life here was vibrant and warm. He blended into the daily rhythm, unnoticed and unremarkable, just another face in the crowd. Known simply as Ming, he embraced a new existence built on simplicity. Each day began with a quiet walk through the neighborhood, followed by a modest breakfast at a small table. The repetition brought comfort, a gentle structure to his once chaotic days. He found solace in the basilica, where he would sit quietly in the pews, attending Mass not for ritual, but for the comfort of silence and reflection. The church became his sanctuary, a place to breathe and let go. The local community welcomed him without question. Here, people valued kindness over wealth, and a warm smile or a shared meal meant more than any material possession. Ming was grateful for their acceptance, feeling a sense of belonging he had never known before. Ming learned a new currency, simple acts of kindness, shared smiles, and helping hands. He discovered that generosity was abundant and that happiness could be found in the smallest gestures. He lived on little, shopping at the local street market and embracing a minimalist lifestyle. Each day, he found liberation in owning less, realizing that true freedom came from letting go of excess and focusing on what truly mattered. Stripped of his former identity and wealth, Ming began the slow, sometimes painful process of self-discovery. He spent quiet evenings reflecting on the rooftop, watching the sun set over the city, and learning to accept himself as he was. No longer a billionaire, he was just Ming, an ordinary man, learning to live one day at a time. With each sunrise, he wrote in his journal, capturing small moments of gratitude and hope, determined to build a new life rooted in simplicity and authenticity. The relief of escape soon turned to a crushing sense of loss for Ming. Without Phoenix Innovations, he questioned his identity and purpose. Anger and bitterness threatened to consume him, haunted by his past. He worried about his mother in Shanghai, imagining the worst. His days were a struggle between despair and survival. In the church, he found solace, realizing suffering was universal. He was not alone in his pain, finding comfort in shared burdens. The church became a refuge, a place for wounded souls like him. This realization didn't erase his sorrow, but made it less isolating. Ming's journey back to life was paved by quiet kindness. A young boy, Leo, and his mother, Lainey, offered friendship and meals. Sister Marilu, a nun, and Father Rico, a priest, provided companionship. They never pried into his past, simply offering presence and empathy. Ming found space to voice his anger and confusion with Father Rico. The priest's wisdom shifted Ming's focus from loss to potential gain. These individuals became his unlikely family, teaching him about unconditional giving. Through them, Ming learned the power of community and simple acts of grace. The Filipino spirit showed him that true wealth lies in connection, not possessions. Ming managed to contact his mother Wei, inviting her to Cebu. Wei, expecting to rescue her son, found him living simply but content. She was shocked by his conditions, but saw a clarity in his eyes. Observing his interactions, she saw genuine affection from the community. Slowly, her perspective shifted, seeing her son connected to those around him. She realized he had found a different kind of wealth in Cebu. Ming was no longer a distant CEO, but a man with a new purpose. Wei saw a man who had gained a family and a sense of belonging. With tears, she understood the true value of his new life. A message from China offered Ming a chance to return. The offer came with conditions, surveillance, and a modest position. Ming faced a choice between comfort and freedom. He missed China, but valued the community he found in Cebu. Father Rico's words resonated. Can they give you a home and purpose? Ming realized he had found connection and peace in Cebu. He chose freedom, declining the offer to return. In losing everything, he found something essential: human connection. He chose a life of belonging over a gilded cage. With clarity, Ming chose to build a life in Cebu. He started a foundation, helping Lainey expand her food stall. He empowered locals, using his skills to lift up his neighbors. He organized fishermen into a cooperative, improving their livelihoods. He established a community fund for education and medical aid. Ming worked quietly, valuing service over recognition. He became Kuya Ming, a respected member of the community. He found joy in service, building a legacy of hope and connection. His life was simple, but his heart was full. A year later, the community celebrated the fishing cooperative's success. Ming spoke from the heart, acknowledging his journey. He lost everything, but found a new beginning in Cebu. The community taught him that home is where you are loved. True wealth is in community, not in a bank. His story became a testament to the power of grace and humility. Ming's fall led to a new dawn, finding himself in unexpected places. He gained a family and purpose, losing an empire but finding his soul. In Cebu, a man erased by the world was found by kindness, discovering his true self.